Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, folks? Here it is, Bob Safale for our Thursday night cryptocurrency and digital currency webinar, where we try to, I don't think we try, we actually do it. Our purpose is really to give you trends in the business, technology, and regulation of cryptocurrencies and digital currencies. And I try to give you really, really, really short-term trends, typically in 7-day increments, 7-day, 30-day, and then we go real far out in the crypto world, which is 6 months trends. 6 months is practically 100 years in the crypto world. But that's what I try to do: give you trends, give you news on trends, and that's once again in the business area. How are businesses getting involved in the crypto digital space? And then technology, and obviously what I try to do here is I try to talk about the technology of the delivery systems themselves. That's like blockchain, digital currency, rate attack. How are the coins or tokens delivered and spent, utilized, traded back and forth? So you got the coins themselves, the tokens themselves. Then you have the exchanges, which that's where you go to buy and sell your cryptocurrency and your digital currency. And of course, wallets are another aspect of this. And then there's other little pieces there are now companies that are involved in crypto storage. I just love that. I mean, they're like banks, okay? They're banks, right? So that's what we do here. That's our purpose. And I've broken up this webinar into segments. In the first one, I try to touch on some breaking news. The second subject matter involves what cryptocurrencies or tokens are hot and what are not. And then last but not least, I get down into a specific subject matter in the crypto space, whether it's companies that some of us are involved in, if it's direct applications of, how can you make more money with crypto? How can you expand your business with crypto? That kind of thing. So that's what we do. And we have the drawing at the end. That's right, the famous Cloud Coin 5 winner drawing. Okay? So let's get started. And the first piece of news is pretty interesting. If you think about what Tech has been doing out there, it's been focusing on how they could secure many different things. Like Celebrium is secured by Tech technology. You have CloudCoin, which is backed by Tech. Now look at this little piece of news. Oh, well, what is this? Oh, Nike surprises everybody today, and they announce that they are going to do something called crypto kicks. Now, what are crypto kicks? Well, what Nike's trying to do is get ahead of what Facebook was planning on. Facebook has been talking about and hinting about and alluding that they're going to do their own cryptocurrency within Facebook, but Nike said, "Nah, I ain't gonna wait," and so they came out with crypto kicks. Now, ultimately, the concept behind crypto kicks is that there are collectors who are trying to collect very expensive Nike shoes or collectible shoes. That's right. They're trying to protect their kicks or their shoe. And this industry or this whole area of the collection of sneakers is ginormous. It is huge. So and obviously I guess if you take a look at it right now over the last 25 years, certainly the vast bulk of shoes that were sold by Nike are by Nike. If you take a look at the sneaker world, it's they used to have Chuck Taylors. Remember those? Probably not. So Nike and then of course there's Adidas and there's others, but Nike's the big player, obviously with Air Jordans. So Nike said, okay, well let's see if we can't in some way, shape, or form protect collectors who are buying and selling rare shoes. And I got to tell you, folks, you know how much these shoes go for? I mean, this is what Sean Worthington's been talking about. How to take some type of technology that can be embedded or connected to a physical asset like a crypto, a collectible, or a super expensive purses, super expensive items. And if you haven't watched what's happening with Cloudcoin, it looks like they have a deal with a major winemaker moving about 6 million bottles of super high cost wine a year. So that's pretty interesting. So this whole area of Nike coming out, at least announcing it, you know, we'll see what happens. But take a look at this one fella. This is DJ Khaled, and he has a gigantic collection of shoes and sneakers. So what Nike's trying to do is effectively force people ultimately into buying their high-end shoes and giving incentives to do so. So hence the crypto kick. It's really a token. I mean, I don't know why they call it particularly a currency, but it's really a token. So that's what they're doing. So Nike is jumping in. Yep. I know it's going to be a matter of time before Amazon, gets involved. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because all those jokers are going to rely on blockchain. It's going to keep on, it's kind of like the old technology. And I'm still waiting for some major technology news that's going to come out there that's going to say we've solved the energy issue with blockchain. Haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen a lot of talk about different currencies enacting certain changes in their protocol, which then make operations more streamlined. But blockchain is blockchain. It's just, the whole concept is real simple. Every time there's a transaction, that transaction is stored in a chain of data or chain of transactions. Now, maybe you could take blockchain and use it with a super expensive shoe, maybe, I don't know. And maybe that could work. It could work, at least in terms of safeguarding a shoe to some degree. But once again, I don't know if it's tied to Bitcoin. Who knows? So once again, I think it's a good thing that Nike's coming out and moving in this direction, because it's yet another validation of the overall world of digital protection, whether it's crypto or digital, of collectibles. I like that. It's good. It's good for Celebrium. It's good for digital frontier marketing. So let's take a look at the next piece of news. And I'm showing you this not to freak everybody out. I'm showing you this because this is I gave a webinar about 3 weeks ago where I was teaching you about the attempts by big behind the scenes investors, and what they do to manipulate the price of currencies. Okay, and I talked about the fact that one of the favorite techniques of price manipulation, particularly if Bitcoin goes up a lot, like Bitcoin rolled past $5,500 per Bitcoin, and I guess the boys and girls that are still trying to accumulate Bitcoin are still trying to accumulate it, so they don't want to see the price go too high too fast. So through one of their various toady media outlets, they'll scare some people, and this is what I'm talking about. So here we go. India considers complete ban on digital currencies. Now, literally, and that's from let me see, that's the Economic Times. Oh man, the Economic Times, right? Are we talking about an established rag or what? So here we have the Economic Times reports that there's some bill that's floating around in the Indian legislature talking about a complete ban on digital currencies. Well, the very same media outlet, let's say it again, the Economic Times, was reporting that India is open to opening up digital currency, and that was just I don't know, 3-4 months ago. So what is it? Is it they're open or they're closed? Well, I think we understand the concept. So you get, I mean, first of all, the chances of a country the size of India that's trying to attract economic activity, that has a gigantic part of their population which are unbanked, they don't have bank accounts, they can't buy, they can't get a bank account. So you have 60-70% of their population that's outside of at least some type of organized financial network. So you're telling me that India is going to go hell with the next generation of financial transaction technology? Screw that. We're going to stay back in the 20th century, 19th century while every other major country flies by us? Ain't going to happen. But unfortunately, literally, I mean, within minutes of this Economic Times article, the price of Bitcoin dropped. It dropped a lot. I mean, and guess what? It's at $5,131, dropped 6%. Okay. Now by tomorrow, guess what? It's going to be back up again, 53, 54, 55. And that's the problem with all this. So listen, this is exactly what I was talking about in my training regarding price manipulation. See, this is a tailor-made example of what I was talking about. So that is the news for that. One last thing. MIT just came out with an article, just came out 6 hours ago, where they're talking about they're talking about the development of a browser that will pay you in cryptocurrency to look at ads. That's pretty interesting. So when you have MIT getting into the game, starting to report on different ways that people are accessing cryptocurrency, or ways that cryptocurrency is kind of spreading into the mainstream, this is one of the ways. See, what we want to start seeing is we want to see different innovations that spread crypto and digital currency into the mainstream, because we still have less than 1% of the world's population that's even been involved with cryptocurrency. We're still probably at about 38 million wallets out there. Remember, you got like 7 billion people. So when you see things like this, when you're talking about a high-tech company that's developed a browser that will pay people in cryptocurrency to look at ads, that's interesting. That's a good development. So that's the news for today, and should give you some trends. And now I'm going to roll into what's hot and what's not. And I think you're really going to find the first currency that I've identified as hot as really quite interesting. And remember, I'm not telling you to go buy this stuff. I'm not telling you to sell this stuff. I'm not a licensed broker-dealer. I'm not an investment advisor. I'm just giving you the news. So don't rely on this to do anything other than enjoy the information. So I've looked at a very interesting company called It's Vollar, Vollar. It rhymes with dollar. And as you can see, Vollar has been continuing to go up steadily. And over the last 30 days, it's gone up about 108%. So it's doubled in the last 30 days. It's got a price of about $2.73. That was, that's about right about now. About little over 3 weeks ago, it was $1.15. Okay, so right around here, it's 115. Here it's 124. Now it's at 273. So you got a 108% increase. What is Vollar? Vollar is focusing on a currency that is focused on micropayments. And it's specifically designed to work with countries like India, where you have a large segment of the population that is effectively not in the grid in terms of employment. They effectively are unemployed. Now, obviously, if you have 20 or 30% of your workforce, quote unquote, unemployed, they really aren't unemployed, or at least all 30% aren't unemployed. A percentage are truly unemployed. But many people are now off of the traditional employment grid and are now doing, micro jobs, or they're doing things that can earn some money fast. A lot of different. It's called the gig economy. So you have the gig economy, which are people who are not employed in traditional 9 to 5, 40-hour week jobs. They are involved with gigs, or micro jobs that are, you get a task, you do a task, you get paid. And the gig economy, it can involve people in the gig economy could be involved in one discipline of work or the many different types of work, right? So Voller focuses on the unbanked person. Okay, that's what they focus on. So they are working in communities where the communities are now accepting and paying out Vollers. People are earning Vollers by, doing simple tasks. Like in the example here, I think they're using the example. Let me see. It's pretty cool example. Here you go. Here's the example they give. You have Mipho, Mpho. So that's the name. Mipho is 26 and lives in Kayamandi Township in South Africa. She's unemployed but regularly takes part in micro jobs to earn Vollers. Okay. And her favorite is maintaining the community garden for the local soup kitchen. So for every hour Mipho works, she earns 1 Voller, which is valued at the local hourly minimum wage, which is equal to, 20 Rand. So the Voller in that community is valued at 1 hour of the local minimum wage. Okay, so it says even though Mipho is unemployed, she could still buy her daily necessities at the local store and pay directly with Voller. Okay, so Voller is going up. And I think it's, let me look at the chart again. Like I said, about $2.75 per Voller. And it's had a nice climb. And it's trading at 9 exchanges right now, and it's in 15 markets. Now, what's not? I talked about this company about 5 weeks ago, and they still keep on doing crappy. It's Bitcoin SV. And they proudly tell everybody, yes, Bitcoin is the Bitcoin SV. Bitcoin SV is the original Bitcoin. It says it restores the original Bitcoin protocol, which will keep it stable and allow massive scale. Now, I'm going, what? Okay, you're telling me the original Bitcoin from 2009. You go backwards. Okay, Bitcoin and all its developments over the last almost 10 years. What these guys are saying is none of that was really, really good and made it better. Well, Jesus, Jeezy peasy. They've been working, and many people have been working on Bitcoin so it trades faster and uses less energy. And so you're telling me that there's a crypto coin that's the original Bitcoin. Okay? It's no wonder that their price just keeps on going down. Here we are at about $91, and in the last 2 weeks, it's now down to $53. So this trend is lousy, and this is going down in the face of all that tremendous up activity across the entire market. So I don't know about you folks, but if something just keeps on going down, that's not too exciting. Now it's trading at $53 right now. In just 2 weeks ago, it was at 92. in the face. And now it is on 62 exchanges and 134 markets, so it is broadly out there. But man, I don't know how anybody in their right mind would, think that the long-term play for any, I don't care if it's cryptocurrency, I don't care if it's software, I don't care if it's, whatever technology, okay? If folks are saying, let's go backwards, that's the ticket. I'm out of there. So that's why I'm not a gigantic fan of Bitcoin SV, and I certainly have been proved right so far. I said you should stay away this from, I reported on the fact that this was a dog 5 weeks ago, and ain't nothing changed. Okay, so I want to move into our third section here of our talk tonight, our webinar tonight. We had a tremendous webinar last week where we're talking about exchanges and a hot new exchange that's about to be launched. I brought in one of the principals of the company who talked about it, and fortunately, it was great. We had a lot of people who contacted us saying, "Hey, when you're about to launch this puppy, let us know." Or, when you're ready to start doing your friends and family, let us know. But the downside is even though we took nearly the entire, I don't know, it was at least 40 minutes we talked about it, there still were a lot of questions. So what I want to do is I want to just kind of hit some of the areas that people had questions about, okay? So, first of all, the exchange itself, the exchanges themselves are local exchanges in different countries. So the company, the U.S. company, will own and does own cryptocurrency exchange software. And that software, which is called Modulus, is also, many consider it the world's best exchange software. So it handles the exchanges, exchange activity of many different types of valuables, not just digital currency or cryptocurrency. So that software is and will be modified with Rate-A-Tech technology. All right, and the core, we're going to call it NewCo. The NewCo, which you're going to learn what the name is very soon, the really cool name. What they've done is they already bought Modulus, they own it, and now they are working directly with one of the original development groups that worked on Modulus in the first place. And this development group is working on the adaptation of Modulus and adding the Rate-A-Tech technology. Now, what does that mean if you add Rate-A-Tech to Modulus? It means you can take a cloud coin and you can go and you can easily sell or buy cloud coins on the exchange. And it can exchange with dollars, it can exchange with euros, it can exchange with any other currencies, other digital currencies. So that's the point. So if you have an exchange software which has been adapted to Rate-A-Tech, that's a very good thing. And the company itself will be licensing that software to big, strong, politically connected, local partners in various countries around the world. Okay? So that's the point. And they're already, the NewCo, because I'm not going to give away the name, is already going through and getting their first major contract signed up with a Panamanian group that has as one of its players the former president of Panama. And they're already working, and this is why I brought up this article before about the news about India, that there's some bill floating around in the parliament that's going to ban crypto and digital, which is just ridiculous. One of the companies that's going to be a local partner is an Indian company, which is, to say the least, very, very connected. So at any rate, that's the concept of the new co, and the new co is going to do a number of things. But so I want to kind of walk through this. So the first thing is that the software itself will be licensed to all these exchanges. So the company, the U.S. company, the new co, is not going to be an exchange. We don't want that. We want to be a licensing company that also provides other type of services, which I'll talk about in a second, and get paid a royalty from every single transaction that happens on any of these exchanges. So it's a constant revenue stream. Okay. Now, what's a part of the puzzle here? Well, we have entered into understandings, agreements that we are going to work with TrueCrowd. Now, why TrueCrowd? Because TrueCrowd is a US-based company that raises money using crowdfunding. Now, I'm going to talk about each piece. So you understand Rate Attack, you understand the NewCo is going to license things. Well, also the RO is going to provide for these local partners companies that want to put their tokens on the local exchanges all over the world. Okay, great. So there has to be a source of companies that will do business and place their tokens on these different local exchanges all over the world. So in order to do that, you have to have companies, and the ones that have the most money, have the most productivity, are companies in the U.S. The U.S. economy is still like $23 trillion annually. It makes up well over 25% of the world, almost 25% of the world economy. So the best businesses to focus on and to target are businesses that are growing and want to raise money to grow faster. Now, before now, or before the last few years, a company that wanted to raise capital would have to go out and seek money from family and friends and associates, and those people would put money into the companies and get shares of stock, or in some cases, units. Well, now those companies, those investors would, in most cases, benefit when that company grew after, typically 3 to 5 years or 7 years, and started developing distribution to distribute to the investors in cash. But also, the real play was always to build a company to the point where you take it public, so you have public shares, so that you can get liquidity, or sell the company or merge the company. So that's how most traditional investors saw their way through. Well, why would they invest money? Why wouldn't they just keep it in the bank? I'll tell you one reason: because you only get 1 or 2% interest annually. Okay, that sucks. You could put it in real estate, which is good too. It's great play. But some people take a portion of their discretionary investment dollars, because nobody should ever get involved with this stuff if you're not qualified, or you should never take any money and put it at risk in anything. If you don't have the money that you could just, I talk about it this way: people should get involved if the money they use is something they literally could light a match to. They could burn up. They don't care. Okay, well, here's $500. Burn it up. I don't care. If you can't do that, you shouldn't invest in anything. That's my own personal view. If you can't just throw the money out the window, do not get involved in anything speculative. All right? So, back to my point here. So, when a private company needs capital, in the past, they would raise money. People would put the money into the company, not necessarily expecting, in many cases, that they're going to get distributions in 3 months, because that's usually not going to happen at all. But they're really looking for a huge grand slam. That's what they're looking for. And of course, if you know anything about business, you know that 9 out of every 10 companies that start, fail. It's a very small percentage of success. So that's what I'm saying. If you have private investors who put money into private companies, they should be fully prepared to know they're throwing their money out the window. But what they're really doing is they're taking a small amount of money and putting it into something that in 3 or 4 years could get them a 20 times return or 50 times return or 10 times return. You see what I'm saying? Because they're saying, well, okay, they'll put some money in stocks and maybe that'll go up 10% annually. They'll put money into real estate, and that's, except for when the bubble happened, which killed everybody in real estate. That's typically, pretty strong. But some people will take a little portion of discretionary income and throw it into a private company. Now, here's where True Crowd comes in. Now you can raise money by reaching out to thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. You can actually use advertising to get people to come to True Crowd to buy shares of a company or units of a company. It's called Regulation CF crowdfunding, and people can do it. You can raise up to $1,070,000 each year, and in crowdfunding, you can have unaccredited investors getting involved. So an accredited investor is somebody who makes $200,000 as an individual annually over 3 years, or as a couple make $300,000 annually over 3 years, or has over $1 million worth of assets, not including their primary residence. That's an accredited investor. A non-accredited investor can get involved in crowdfunding because crowdfunding typically is low cost. I mean, some crowdfunding for small businesses, they people can get in for $50 or $100 or $250 or $1,000. So True Crowd also will do crowdfunding and issue tokens. That's right. True Crowd and one of their subsidiaries can issue tokens, and they're fully prepared to issue Ratatech tokens. They will get involved in the funding of companies, and those companies can, instead of issuing paper stock or paper units, can issue their shares or their units in a digital asset called a token. It's basically the same thing as cryptocurrency. It's just called a token. And so with True Crowd and their platform and their SEC approved, we can take companies and get them into True Crowd, get them using Ratatech, and then guess what? Because they're using Ratatech, they can put those tokens on the NewCo local partner exchanges all over the world. You see? So the NewCo, as part of their charter, is going to be a customer or client generator who brings many companies to True Crowd to fund. Okay? Now, how do we get, all these small companies that are growing fast? How do we how do we talk to those companies? Well, you've been hearing about something called Napkin to Exit. This is something I'm doing with Shark Tank star Kevin Harrington and a bunch of other business superstars. What's Napkin to Exit? Napkin is the concept of when a company starts, they start with a bright idea that they write down in a napkin. But way back when, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, people used to write out their concept on a napkin. They would sit with a potential investor and write out on a piece of paper, here's our concept. That's called the napkin. Napkin's the start of a business. It's the bright idea. Napkin to exit is the reward. That means the company goes public, the company is bought, the company is merged, the company is so doggone successful it's spitting out dividends every single month. So napkin to exit is basically it's a problem-solving Swiss Army knife of business solutions, from how to market, how to get financing, how to do quality control, how to do sales. It basically takes any company from start all the way, and we will be getting tens of thousands of companies involved in napkin to exit. Well, one of the things that napkin to exit is promoting is what? Raising capital. Who are we going to send our napkin to exit businesses to? True Crowd. True Crowd is going to do crowd funding for those companies. Napkin to exit companies that are involved with napkin to exit, such as marketing firms, will help those companies attract investors for the crowdfunding. All those investors will be getting tokens. And guess where the tokens go? That's right. They go to the exchanges that are powered and can accept RADA Tech tokens or RADA Tech powered tokens. So if you understand the whole play here, what we've done is our core thing is we have RADA Tech. We believe that RADA Tech and CloudCoin are the next generation of crypto and digital currency. That's what our whole philosophy is and our drive. Now, we have to get adoption of RADA Tech. Great. Let's have a NewCo that has software that is the best software in the world for exchanges that's fully adapted to RADA Tech so that we can then start exporting that software to local partners who have exchanges, who are starting up exchanges all over the world. And once quite a few of those exchanges in places like Panama, Colombia, India, Malta start using the RADA Tech and they see all this trading and all these companies putting their tokens on these local exchanges, all of a sudden the other exchanges will go, hey, we want in too. Oh, you mean you already use Modulus and have adopted? We already use regular straight Modulus now. Yeah, can you upgrade our exchange software with what you've developed with Modulus, the NewCo modules? So that's the concept. So you understand the strategic plan for you folks that were asking, well, what the heck is all this, Bob? Because I had some people, they're going, well, what's the plan? What are you doing here? Well, the plan is getting RADA Tech adopted in as many places across the world as possible. Whether it's RADA Tech is powering exchanges, whether RADA Tech is powering collectible protection, whether RADA Tech is powering consumer applications, it doesn't matter. The more we get RADA Tech out there, ultimately for you folks that have gotten involved early on and gotten a lot of cloud coins, you want to see exchanges with RADA Tech in it, particularly exchanges that also accept every type of currency as well. All the blockchain-based currencies and other digital currencies for that matter. So I hope that was helpful because I know I had a whole lot of people. And interestingly enough, this whole exchange world is just going nuts. Okay, I mean Kraken, which is now in the top 3 cryptocurrency exchanges, now has $1 billion value, $4 billion valuation. I mean, I don't think Kraken is even 3 years old. I don't think it's even 3 years old. And Kraken is one exchange. What we're talking about is essentially a super exchange network that works with decentralized exchanges all over the world. So the NewCo effectively is the technology hub that provides the technology, provides customers, as in people who put their tokens on the exchange, and through the local partners, the NewCo will provide marketing services to get actual users or people buying the currency. We will be hired by these different local partners, and we can do targeted marketing with different types of different applications there. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that answers a lot of questions because we certainly opened up a real can of worms. And once again, we had a ton of people that went ahead and emailed me with the simple subject line NewCo because we are very close to doing a small friends and family round. And if you're interested in getting the PPM, you just email me at digitalcurrencybob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com, bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com, with the subject line NUCO. Now, we will be sending out the PPMs, and the reason we're doing it is because we're one of the owners of the company, and when I say we, I mean Digital Frontier Marketing owns 10% of the NUCO. So we are going to be sending out the PPM in the order of the people who originally requested it. So we had people after last Thursday's webinar who quickly emailed me NUCO, because that meant that we're going to send out the PPM to those people first, because the friends and family round is going to be, it's not going to be big. And then we do our, well, I can't go into the next thing that's being done, but there you go. So if you want that information, just email me with the subject line NUCO. Now let's go ahead and do our lovely drawing. And here we go. Let's do our little contest here. Okay. Bing, bam, boom. Big crowd again, as usual. Let's see. Random.org. If you ever want to do drawings, I love random.org. It's fantastic. So let's go ahead and put the number of people that are here. And we're going to do 5 winners. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's first? Who's the first winner? Oh, attendee number 21 is the first winner of 1,000 cloud coins. The next winner is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. Attendee number 71. Very, very good. The third winner is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. Attendee number 34. The next winner is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bang. Attendee number 49. And last but not least, to win 1,000 cloud coins, which, well, yeah, I heard there's some exchange network. Oh, anyway, I already talked about that. Here's the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, attendee number 16 has won. So we have our 5 winners. I want to thank you for attending our briefing tonight. I hope that information was helpful, and have a very, very good night. Thank you much.